Hello and welcome to your IBM I update for May 2025, a snapshot of news and views on what's been happening within the IBM I community in the past few weeks as reported by Proximity, your premier partners for IBM I application support and development. Now, we're in event season, and for Europe, this year it kicks off in Gothenburg. This 3.5-day event provides education and knowledge delivered by top IBM and industry leading figures with in-depth workshops, experts on hand, plus a congress dinner and live entertainment too. So if I was to pick just one thing for each day, then on day one, it's all about the workshops and providing delegates a warm welcome. So should this be your first time, be sure to check out the first timer session at 6 p.m. This is followed by the welcome reception with food and drink shortly after, a great place to meet fellow delegates and IBMiers. Day 2 starts with the Expo proper, and I'd recommend being there for the keynote speech by IBMi CTO Steve Will, Power Processor Chief Architect Bill Starkey, and VP of IBM Power, Jonas Olberg. There's always something shiny and new announced, so please be there for that. On Wednesday, the Expo continues with multiple streams, so do check the schedule and book your place for the topics of interest. But after all that, I'd certainly recommend the conference dinner and Expo fun. It's a great place to share stories and meet like-minded people, and also a chance to let your hair down too, after what would have been a jammed-packed few days. Finally, on day 4, and as one of the last sessions of the event, it's Ask the Experts, your chance to ask questions from the people in the know, and in some cases who have written a rule book too, well worth sticking around till the end. Then the following week, for us Brits, we have the iPower event. This year, like the past few, we're in Northampton, taking place on June 10th and 11th at the Mercure Northampton Hotel. This 2-day educational conference offers a rich agenda filled with workshops, keynote sessions, and networking opportunities. The first day concentrates on education and networking with 5 action-packed streams full of workshops and deep dive labs led by top industry experts. So if you're an attendee, you can expect to gain valuable insight into the latest IBMi developments and best practices. The next day kicks off with a keynote from IBM Senior Technical Staff Member Scott Forstey with a range of thought-provoking topics throughout the day, including AI, cloud and data center deployment, security, modernisation, and more besides too. And then there's also the debate session titled AI, When is it truly appropriate? I'm sure all you HAL 9000 fans will be up for that one.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
To preview the iPower event, I took time with Steve Cast, iUG's marketing director, and asked him what can attendees expect from this year's iPower conference.
Let's answer that in 2 ways, I guess, Andy. The first thing is they're going to have fun, right? And that's pretty important. Second thing is they're going to learn a lot as well. So this is a great event really for both that kind of educational experience, so the kind of formal professional side of it, but we have a bit of fun as well, and I'm sure we'll come on to that later.
Yes. It's been going now many years, but how has iPower evolved over the years, and what makes 2025's event stand out?
Yeah, great question. So, as you say, it's been going for a long time, longer than I care to remember, to be honest. And we've tried different formats over the years. One thing that's really important, and with the exception of COVID, we've always tried to keep it a face-to-face event. So, really important for us is the presenters present in person, that attendees, delegates join us in person as well. So it sounds a bit strange talking to somebody who does podcasts and so on, but we don't actually record the event, so it's not available afterwards. So if you want to know what's going to happen at our event, you've got to be there. So that certainly sets it apart, I guess, from many of the other events that happen in our IBMi community.
Are there any tracks specifically for developers, tracks for system admin or decision makers? How do you split those out?
Yeah, definitely. So let me just tell you what our tracks are this year. So we are going to be working on a development track, a database track, a security track, system administration, and also what we originally sort of thought of as traditional development, which on day one is going to start with RPG workshops. So why have we done that? We've basically separated it into those 5 streams or tracks, I guess in a way to allow delegates to sort of focus or zone in on one particular area that they're interested in, and see sessions and attend workshops that are aligned with that particular track. But that pretty much covers everything I think that IBMI stands for, really, I guess. So obviously there's something there for our programmers, our developers, our DBAs, database administrators, or programmers that are working in the world of SQL. Security, obviously very mindful these days with what's happening with Marks and Spencers at the minute, what's been happening with the co-op, all these systems securely protected, I guess, is important. So IBMI is the most securable operating system, but not necessarily the most secure. So that's an important track. Systems admin, so that's everything really from Linux running on IBMI through to getting the most out of your equipment, be that cloud or on-premise. And there's something there really for our RPG developers as well. So our day one workshops from Susan Gantner and John Paris, really helping you guys to deep dive into the latest fun and features that are within RPG.
Terrific. Are you seeing, though, a shift with requests for newer topics like AI or modernisation?
Yes, we absolutely are, Andy. I mean, AI is everywhere, obviously. Everybody wants to talk about that right now. Modernisation is a key topic as well. And of course, there are many vendors. Fresh, who I work for, is obviously a modernisation solution provider. So there are many vendors out there that are specialising in that particular field. And yes, delegates want to know what's happening with AI, what's happening with modernisation. And our delegates do range from people that are still running traditional green screen 5250 applications, RPG or COBOL, maybe code bases that go back to the 70s or 80s, that are still running absolutely fine on a day-to-day basis. But also we have Node-RED developers, and our student base that are going to be there at the event, for example, are new to IBMI and are embracing IBMI with Node-RED, basically. So accessing our DB2 for our database. So yeah, we cover all those different languages and technologies, but the one central feature is IBMI as the operating system plays a part in all of our activities there, all running on Power.
I think absolutely right, and it's fair to say I think the IBMI community are very exuberant and very enthusiastic about that platform. How do they help in shaping the conference content and overall vibe?
Yeah, so our members, obviously, generally our delegates that attend these events will be members. We made a conscious decision a couple of years ago now, to say that if you want to come to one of our events, you need to become a member. The way we've managed that, of course, is if you're a non-member, the cost of you attending the event is your first year's membership. So basically it's a no-brainer. You then get to come to the other events during the year as well. And that is really kind of helping people to embrace, I guess, the events that we're putting on. In terms of where we get our ideas from, so we run a call for papers activity. We ask our community, so our members and our wider contacts, to submit their calls for papers. That helps us to get, say, these international guests. You mentioned Birgitta Hauser earlier. There's another one, for example, coming over from international. And they submit those, and our committee and our technical director, Steve Bradshaw, at Roughton IT. Steve and his committee will then run through and decide which of those submissions are suitable for content. And you'd be delighted, I'm sure, to know that our problem is not normally a lack of speaker submissions. It's trying to whittle them down to the ones that we can fit within the agenda. So we're running 5 streams this year, for example, and we're victims of our own success. As we get better and
good.
we deliver bigger, we decide in a foolhardy moment at the end of each conference, let's make it even bigger and better next time. And we have another track or another activity of some sort. So, there's always plenty of content coming through.
That's fantastic. And the streams are, well, full of content. But how many of these would be hands-on workshops or interactive sessions?
Yep, so we separate that out into two very distinct days. So day one is that's the Tuesday, the 10th of June, is very much our hands-on workshop day. So delegates attending then, we kind of expect them to come along with their laptop or whatever equipment that particular presenter has asked them to bring along. And that is definitely roll up the shirt sleeves and get into the code or for example, one of our sessions this year is going to be building a Linux partition from scratch running on IBM I. So couldn't get really more hands-on than that. So very much on the first day, on the Tuesday, it's hands-on workshops. We then pivot slightly on the second day, and we must talk about the bridge in between them, which is our gala dinner. But we move on to the second day where we have more traditional sessions, so 45 to 60-minute sessions, presentations. We get a little bit of audience participation with our debate topic. That's proved really interesting. So rather than just sit and listen or watch a PowerPoint, here you're actively asked to engage in the debate. This year that's on the topic of AI. So basically, when is it right to use AI? And that's going to be an interesting discussion, I think. Generally no right or wrong answer, but we try and get audience participation and a panel of experts to help answer that on the stage. So you get a mix on day two of conference, keynotes, interactive sessions, presentations, and our vendor sessions as well. So we ask our vendors to put on sort of product demonstrations and so on. So a lot going on, Andy, as you can see.
Yeah, and of course it's all also not just about the IBM I products and technologies and AI and all that lovely stuff, but it's also about networking.
Yeah.
And of course you mentioned it briefly there, the gala dinner. Would you like to expand a little bit upon that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this has become our bridge, if you like, between day one and day two. So day one, quite intensive workshop activities. We need to let our hair down, have a bit of fun in the evening. So we start off with a welcome drink, which is in our expo area. That's encouraging all of our delegates to go and visit the sponsors. Let's just give them a quick plug while we're here, Andy, as well. So these events don't happen without our sponsors. So Proximity obviously are sponsoring this year, so thank you very much for that. Fresh obviously involved in sponsoring, and many other vendors. You can see the full list, but these events don't happen without those guys. So in return for that sponsorship, we bring all the delegates into the expo area. We lure them in with alcohol.
It works. Steve.
So in they come and they have a drink on the iUG and the sponsors, and then from that drink and a little bit of fun that we have in the expo area, we then move into a 3-course gala dinner. We've made the gala dinner quite interesting by offering up the opportunity for vendors to speak at the gala dinner. Now, we warn them, don't speak on dry topics or don't do a sales pitch because you're in danger of receiving a bread roll smack bang in the middle of your forehead. So it's always a good idea to do something a bit of fun, quirky, something a bit different. And I know this year one of the vendors is planning to put on a bit of a pub quiz type activity.
Ooh, that'll go down well, I think, yes.
Brush up, I think, on your IBM I knowledge now.
All right.
Ready for that, because I suspect it'll be related to the product in some way. And then the gala dinner progresses into the bar afterwards, and that really is the kind of social networking idea. And this year the gala dinner is slightly different as you've been before. We're going to be running it as a buffet style dinner, and so you move tables and network, not just with the guys on your table, but you'll be able to move tables between courses if you want to. You don't have to, but sort of an extra dimension.
Smashing. I'll certainly be there, ready to have a natter with anyone who wants.
Great stuff.
Join me on my table now. For anyone who's not been to iPower, Can you give them, well, an elevator pitch on why they should attend this year?
Yep. So, I mean, first and foremost, if you're trying to, convince your boss or the paymasters, is this a good event for you to attend? Then, first and foremost, you should be talking about the education experience. So, particularly if you're a developer or database or security consultant, anywhere in those sort of different fields I talked about with their different streams, then you really want to try and get along on that day one workshop. These are quality workshops at a fraction of the cost they would be if you had those in a kind of one-to-one or formal education activity where you'd need to go somewhere to have that delivered. So you come along to the event and you'll get that hands-on learning. You also get a chance from Scott Forsty on day 2 as to have the keynote. So what's happening with IBM I? Obviously, he'll be telling us about the latest and greatest in 7.6. He might be telling us future announcements that might be happening later this year. So there's some interesting sort of insights that will come there as well. So news, topical information about our platform. That's a great reason to be there. And then I suppose the last one is peer networking. So yeah, very much talking to other people on the same platform as you, learning from their experience, their wisdom, sharing your ideas and knowledge as well. So you often find people form little huddles and they're having sort of quite complex conversations about different topics. And generally our feedback is that opportunity to be able to talk to different people, get those new ideas. That's the most positive there. So, plenty of good reasons to be there.
I agree, totally, absolutely. Now, where can people go to register? And is there still time to sign up?
So the good news is yes, you can still register. I-UG, so I as in the little letter I-UG.co.uk.
Make sure something comes up on the screen right now.
Perfect, yeah. And then go to the website, you click on the register for the event. So this is the iPower event. It's the only event that's currently open for us. Pop in your registration details, you'll receive a confirmation email, and then usually within sort of 24 to 48 hours, you'll be added into Sched. That's the schedule planning tool that we use to help run the event, and you'll get a welcome note there. You can then start building your agenda for the day. And of course, if you're at the event, you can then follow the app. So there's an iPower 2025 app that you can run within Sched, and you can have a look at which sessions you're booked into, which room you should be in, all those kind of things as well. But not too late. Just talk briefly about rooms. So our room allocation in the hotel, it's now open. So you book directly with the hotel, or you can continue to book through our website. There are still rooms available, but that might be one reason to crack on and register. That's the big point.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much, Steve. We're very much looking to iPower on the, again, reminders of the dates.
And 11th of June. So Tuesday the 10th, Wednesday the 11th of June.
Perfect. We'll see you there. Thank you very much, Steve.
Great stuff. Thanks, Andy. Look forward to it.
My thanks to Steve for taking the time to speak with me. Now, I'll be at both Common Europe and the iPower event, so please come up and say hello if you see me. Should you not be able to make the events, then don't worry, I'll be covering what it's like to attend in next month's IBM I update, so please be sure to catch up then. Now, at the Common Power Up 2025 conference in America, IBM announced the upcoming public preview of IBM I Coding Assistant, now renamed Watson Coding Assistant for IBM I, or WCA for I for short. Now, we've covered the development of the AI tool extensively over the past year, but some new details have emerged. But first, to recap, the coding assistant is built on IBM's Watson X and Granite models and aims to assist developers by providing code explanations with future plans including code generation and test case creation too. Initially, WCA for I will be available as a Visual Studio Code plugin with no current plans for RDI support. IBM has trained the assistant using over 10 million lines of RPG code and is seeking contributions for older RPG 2, 3, OPM code, as well as CL, COBOL and SQL examples, all to enhance its capabilities. But when will it be available? Well, it's released to beta partners in July, and this beta release will concentrate on the code explanation side of things. IBM is still hoping to have RPG generation capabilities available as a beta for WCA for I in the second half of the year too, but also in the second half of the year should be the general release of the code explanation side of WCA for I. We'll be sure to keep you in the loop with developments. And that's it for this month's update. I do hope to see you at one of the upcoming events. Be sure to come and say hello if you do see me. In the meantime, for more like this, please see our blog on the Proximity website. But for now, I'm Andrew Nicholson. We're Proximity, the IBMI partners that are in your corner. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.